So very soon on Global Dokkan, we are going to be getting the EZA for the LR KALE and CAULIFLA. So overall, their EZA is good. I would say there was a couple areas they probably could have made them just a little bit better, but they're still one of the best partners you could run next to Dokkan Fest KALE. They're still very impressive once you stack up with them. They do also build up a dodge chance, so defensively, they can look really impressive later in the fight. But I don't know, the first couple turns you have them, their defense isn't really the craziest. Their teams also aren't really that great, very similar to Dokkan Fest KALE. But what makes them a little bit better than KALE is that they're not restricted to having, Universe 6 category allies on the team for them to be good. Like, you could face whatever enemy, even though they do get buffs when facing Universe Rival Saga enemy, but still, you could face whatever enemy, run really whatever team, and they could still look pretty impressive. But obviously with KALE, you need Universe 6 units for her to be, good. But with Universe 6 girls, it's a lot easier for them to just spread their wings in really any situation. So they're still a very good unit. I would just say their teams is still kind of an issue, and they still could have been a little bit better in a couple parts of their kit. But we'll talk about that later in the video. So with all that said, I guess we can just go ahead and get right into the showcase. On this opening turn, we're going to be looking really good. We're going to have 5 out of 7 links, and I think we have a little bit of support from the CAULIFLA. Let me double check. I kind of forget if she supports. No, she doesn't support. Okay, so we've got no support right here. We're at 205k defense. I mean, I guess that's solid because we are stacking defense and we have a lot of built-in additionals. But, like, if we throw her in slot 1, dude, she's going to get crushed in any event. So, turn 1, not really the greatest. But, I'll cut her some slack. I mean, they are a stacking unit. So, of course, throughout the fight, they're going to look a lot more impressive. And like I mentioned, they do have a lot of built-in additionals. So, as long as you keep them in slot 2, I think just throughout the fight, they should look pretty impressive. And because of all the additionals, their damage should look pretty good as well. So right here, we are starting off with a 7.4 million attack stat. Okay. Actually, because all the additionals we have, and you'll see as long as this doesn't kill. Okay, well, it killed anyway. That's not really bad damage, and we did crit right there as well. So their damage can definitely get up there, which is surprising because they are, a defensive unit. But their damage can still look pretty impressive. I guess we can just go ahead and start going over their kit. So they do get 30% defense on their 12 and 18 key super attack, but then on their 12 key, they do raise attack for 1 turn. So that might not seem like the biggest deal to you, but because of all the additionals they're getting, that 30% attack on their 12 key super attack is very, very important. So obviously it makes it to where your additionals are doing a lot more damage. So definitely a good thing with that. And then on their 18 key, they do also lower attack. I mean, it's nice to have it, I guess. If you're taking them in Super Battle Road, if you're taking them in, I guess, some red zone stages, the first phase, you can lower attack and defense. So that'll be pretty useful. And then with their passive, they start off with 3 key, 130% attack and defense. They launch an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super just for free. And then they also get another 66% attack and defense, and then launch another additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super when HP is 66% or less. So when you're below 66% HP, just to reiterate, you're getting that 66% attack and defense buff, and you've got that additional that has a great chance of becoming a super. You also have the additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super just in their kit for free, and then there are other built-in additionals in their kit. So, the additionals does start to get kind of crazy, and because they're getting that 30% defense on 12 and 18 key super, dude, their defense can ramp up very, very quick. And they're also AGL, so even 55%, you can still get the Hidden Potential System super because they've got the base 5 additional. So anyway, right here, we're at 267k defense. I mean, all right, look, I know I'm saying they're good defensively, and we're looking at their defensive stat, 260k. That's definitely not good, but there's a lot of other stuff you got to keep in mind, which actually we'll go over this now. So they do get 1 key up to 6, and then chance of evading enemies' attack, including super, plus 6%, up to 66% with every attack performed. So yeah, they're stacking defense, and they're building up dodge chance. Not even like a 30% chance of dodge or anything like that. A 66% chance of dodge. That's very, very reliable. That's almost a great chance of dodging. So not only is their defensive stat going to be, pretty high as you go on through the fight, but then you're building up that dodge chance. So it doesn't even really matter what their defensive stat is because you're likely going to dodge majority of the attacks. So that's really impressive. I think throwing them in slot 2 or 3, whatever, have them stack up a bit, have them build up that dodge chance, and then at some point throughout the fight, I mean, you could probably just throw them in slot 1, and then because they've got that 66% chance to dodge, I mean, they should be fine in slot 1. So definitely very impressive with that. Again, I think between the dodge and the stacking, once you give them a couple turns to build up and stack, they're going to be very, very good in slot 1. But that's my main issue with them. As you saw, 200k defense, 260k defense for the first couple turns you have them isn't really that good. Like, you're still probably going to die. And because they haven't built up the chance to dodge or anything like that, dude, they could just get destroyed. So, not really the biggest fan of them for the first couple turns. I feel like maybe they should have had some guard or something like that. But I don't think it's that big of a deal because, again, just throwing them in slot 2 or slot 3, I mean, it's not really that much of like a deal breaker. You could still just do it. I mean, as long as you've got Kale in slot 1, I guess it should work. But then the thing with Kale is until she transforms, she's also a slot 2 unit. She gets her damage reduction on super. So she's not going to be able to hold down slot 1, before she actually transforms. So I don't know. It can be kind of wonky running her and Kale as a rotation. But I think if you're running like any other team outside of, Kale's team, and you've got a good slot 1 unit for them, because they've got a good link set. They've got stuff like Prepared for Battle, Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, Tournament of Power, which a good amount of top 2 units have. I mean, not really Tournament of Power, but like Super Saiyan, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, those are definitely some top tier links. So you could probably link her up with a pretty solid unit in slot 1. And then, of course, like we already mentioned, they'll definitely be able to hold down slot 2. Overall, a good unit. I think there's some situations where they're going to be like insanely busted. But then there's also those situations where turn 1, they just get one-shotted by the enemy. So then they do also get 10% attack per Universe 6 joined forces or Pure Saiyan category allies on the team. So that's not that big of a deal. I know I mentioned earlier that you don't really need to have a full Universe 6 lineup for them to be good or something like that. And you don't. They're not necessarily an offensive unit. So like building the team around Universe 6 joined forces and Pure Saiyan category allies isn't that important, and it's not essential to their kit. Because all their defense, their dodge, them stacking, all that, you still are going to have, even if you run them on a full, I don't know, like rapid growth team, where none of the units are joined forces, Pure Saiyans, or Universe 6. I don't think you could do that, but let's just say hypothetically you could. They're still going to be very impressive, because again, their damage can look good with all their additionals, but it's not the main focus of their kit. Because between them stacking and building up the dodge, I mean, come on, it's pretty obvious, they're a very defensive unit. So missing out on that, I don't think is that big of a deal. But because they made it to where you could run Pure Saiyan category allies on the team and still get that attack buff, I still think that's a very, very good thing to have in their kit. And you're still going to get that active a lot. Because Pure Saiyans, I mean, dude, that's a pretty good category, right? One of the best categories in the game. So I don't think that being a, I guess, restriction or one of the categories you have to bring on the team for the Kale and Caulifla to look better offensively is that big of a deal, because again, that is a very good category. And then they also launch a guaranteed additional super when there's a Universe Survival Saga or Pure Saiyans category enemy. There are a couple Pure Saiyan category enemies in difficult events right now. We've got like Red Zone Broly, we've got Turles, I guess. That's pretty much all I can think of. But other than them, not a whole lot right now. But obviously, once we get super class Red Zone stages, then I definitely do think that'll make, these girls look a lot more impressive, because you could take them in there, and then they will have the guaranteed additional with that. And let's just go over all the additionals they can do, because they can do a lot of supers. So you've got your first super, obviously that's 1. You've got your additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super just for free. So let's say you get lucky and get that. That's 2 supers. And then if you're below 66% HP, you get the additional that has a great chance of becoming a super. 70% of the time that's going to become a super. So then that's 3 supers. And then also, you've got the guaranteed additional super when there's a Universe Survival Saga or Pure Saiyans category enemy. So then that's 4 supers. And then, like I said, even 55%, they can still get the Hidden Potential System super because they're AGL. So then that's 5 supers. 5 supers in a turn. You're getting 30% defense on every super attack effect permanently. And on every 12 key you're doing, so all the additionals, you're getting 30% attack. So, I mean, come on, you can see what I'm getting at here. Dude, they can look really crazy just because of how they're stacking. I mean, yeah, look at that. 700k defense, and we don't have any support right here. Yeah, I mean, they're very good, right? But, I mean, the first couple turns, well, I already went over their issues. I don't got to repeat myself. So, what we'll do is we'll showcase this turn right here, and then we'll go ahead and call it in here, and we'll take them... I don't know, they're AGL. I usually have, difficulty bringing AGL units in, hard events, because there's not really, a hard STR event. Like, for tech units, Red Zone Broly, right? For int units, Cell Max. But, I don't know, for AGL units, it's a little weird. I guess we could just bring them in Red Zone Broly. Well, they're not going to have their dodge, though. I don't know. Wherever we bring them, we'll figure that out. But for now, yeah, look at this. I mean, can we get the 5 supers in this turn right here? No, I think we only got like 1 or 2 supers. So, yeah, you could still get unlucky with your additional supers as well. But then when you build up the 66% chance to dodge, and they're dodging super attacks like that, doesn't really matter. I mean, the additionals really don't provide anything other than just damage, which of course is good, but I mean, their attack stats with the additionals are only like 5 million. So, you know, the damage isn't going to be insane, but I'm telling you, with all the additionals, with the stacking, with the dodge, just everything, they can look crazy. I mean, you've seen it throughout the video. So I guess with all that shown, we could just go in and cut to the red zone test. This is just kind of fluffing up the video right here. Yeah, again, overall, they've looked very impressive. Keep in mind, though, this is like a very good setup for them. As I said, they do get the attack buffs when there's Pure Sands joined forces or Universe 6 category allies on the team, which we do have that full buff activated. We're also rainbowed level 10 links under a 200% leader skill. So this is like their peak setup. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, with all that shown, let's go and cut to the red zone test. All right, so we're here fighting Metal Cooler Core, and we've got a bit of a interesting rotation right here. We did get sealed, but we're here on turn 4, and we're already at 553k defense. I mean, dude, that's pretty impressive for turn 4, right? I mean, we do have some support from Rage Vegeta, so keep that in mind, but still, definitely very impressive considering how early it is in the fight. So because we're sealed, I think I'm just going to throw them in slot 1. They don't really get any defense because they're not going to be able to super, so it doesn't really matter if we throw them in slot 2. We kind of just need to rely on them dodging, but I am curious how much they would take from a normal. Okay, yeah, so we got the dodge. And, okay, you know how it is. Dodge the normal, take the super. How much are we taking from this? 1.3. All right, well, I mean, you know, it's very simple. You dodge, you survive. You don't dodge, you're probably going to die, right? I think a normal probably would have done like 200-300k damage, but still pretty impressive. We'll cut back and see them like actually tank some normals in here. That was kind of a weird rotation. So let's go ahead and come back to the Metal Cooler Core fight. All right, so we're back fighting Metal Cooler Core. I did use the Super Saiyan 4 Goku standby. That's why you see the little standby thing right there. But I guess we could just throw KALE and CAULIFLA in slot 1. I mean, once again, we're here turn 5, almost 600k defense. So yeah, their defense can get up there pretty quick, right? I mean, you get the additionals off. They can look very good. So we did build up a solid chance to dodge right here. Hopefully we don't get supered first thing. Okay, we didn't. But we are taking double digits from normals. Okay, so I think we would have taken double digits on the previous fight we had too. From normals. Of course, the super did like 1.3 million damage. But I think still normals we would have been fine with. So then now that we're getting our super off too. No, a super attack would still kill us from Cooler. But if we dodge it, I mean, dude, no damage, right? So obviously very useful. And then I think we are fully built up with those, what was it, 3 attacks? 2 of them were supers. So yeah, KALE and CAULIFLA can look pretty impressive, man. There's not really much else to say. You know, you get the dodge, you stack up a bit with them, they can look good. But their team's still not really the greatest. And this is probably, well, I don't know, is Dokkan Fest KALE the best rotation with them? We'll look at the end of the video and look at like their linking partners, but if they don't have any other like really good linking partners for slot 1, I guess this would be the best rotation for LR KALE and CAULIFLA. Because then when you transform with KALE, I mean, she's dominant in slot 1, so you could throw her in slot 1, LR KALE and CAULIFLA in slot 2, and that rotation is going to be like amazing. But I mean, if you don't transform with KALE, neither of them are slot 1 units, so it's kind of weird. Like at the beginning of fights, this rotation could just get torn to shreds, right? But then once you stack with LR KALE and CAULIFLA, build up the chance to dodge, and then you transform with Dokkan Fest KALE, both of them actually could work in slot 1. So it just depends on how the fight goes, really, right? So, okay, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. KALE isn't going to die right here, even if she gets supered. Of course, she gets a lot of damage reduction when she does her attacks. So she's going to be absolutely fine right here, I think. I don't know, let's put it to the test. How much is she taking? I think we're living right here. Yeah, 200, basically 300k. So, all right, I guess we could just call it at that. Ooh, you know what? I mean, we have to, right? We got to play this animation. Let me make sure I got the skip off. Let's go and play this. What? 11 million crit and it still didn't kill? Okay, I guess we'll just throw him in slot 1. Who does he link better with? Actually, he links better with Oob. Okay. So we'll do this, and then we'll just call it in here. Yeah, overall, I mean, you know, LR, Kale, and Caulifla have been looking good. I've been repeating myself a lot in the video because, I mean, their performance is very straightforward. You dodge, you look impressive. You stack with them, you look impressive. You don't, you're probably just going to die. I mean, there's really no other way to put it, right? And right now, while their teams aren't really amazing, you know, if you don't have Dokkan Fest Kale, it could be kind of wonky for LR, Kale, and Caulifla. So, very similar to Dokkan Fest Kale, I think we need an LR Kefla, an LR Hit, or something like that to give the LR Kale and Caulifla a very good spot on a team, and then they'll be very dominant. But for now, they're kind of in a wonky spot. But anyway, with all that shown, let's go ahead and cut to the unit breakdown. Alright, so here we have 2 makes the strongest of all universes, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla and Super Saiyan 2 Kale. So starting off their leader skill, it is Joined Forces, category Ki +4, HP and attack and defense plus 150%, or Super AGL type Ki +4, HP attack and defense plus 100%. Not the best leader skill, but if you're newer to the game or something like that, that might benefit you. And then their super attack effect on their 12 key is that they raise defense infinitely and then raise attack for 1 turn, do colossal damage. Their 18 key is that they raise defense infinitely as well, do mega colossal damage and then lower attack. And then their passive is that they get 3 key, 130% attack and defense. They launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super. They get an additional 66% attack and defense, and an additional that has a great chance of becoming a super when HP is 60% or less. And then they get 1 key up to 6, and then chance of evading enemies' attack, including super, plus 6%, up to 66% with every attack performed. And then they also get 10% attack for every Universe 6 Joined Forces or Pure Sans category ally on the team. And then they also launch an additional super attack when there's a Universe Survival Saga or Pure Sans category enemy. So a good passive. I guess my main nitpicks with them would just be like right now there's not that many difficult events with Universe Survival Saga or Pure Sand category enemies. And also, I mean, them getting the extra attack with Universe 6 Joined Forces and Pure Sand category allies. Well, I mean, it's good because there's Pure Sands there, but I don't know, Universe 6 and Joined Forces kind of suck. So, and now that I'm looking at their kit, I would say my only issue is that the guaranteed additional is kind of hard to get. And also for the first couple turns, they're not really going to be amazing. So then maybe if they had guard or something like that, it'd make them a lot more impressive. But other than that, actually a very good EZA now that I'm reading this like out loud again. So definitely very good with their passive. Their link set is Super Saiyan, Battlefield Diva, Warriors of Universe 6, Tournament of Power, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. So they've got like a good link set, but they also have a bad link set, like Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power, all very good links. But then Battlefield Diva, Warriors of Universe 6, and then Tournament of Power aren't really the best of links right now. But again, an LR Kefla, an LR Hit, something like that. Maybe, you know, they share 5 out of 7 links with them, and then that could be a really good rotation. So that definitely has potential to be good, but until then, her link set's alright, I guess. And then their categories are Peppy Gals, Universe Survival Saga, Pure Sands, Full Power, Joined Forces, Universe 6, Super Saiyan 2, Rapid Growth, Bond of Friendship, and then Power Beyond Super Saiyan. So that is the showcase for the LR Kale and Caulifla with their EZA. Let me know how you guys are feeling about them down in the comments, and let me know what you want to see them do to buff Universe 6, whether it be, you know, a new Kaba, a new Kefla, a new Hit, or something like that. A Champa and a Vados, I've heard that going around a bit. I think that could be pretty cool. So let me know in the comments what you want to see for Universe 6. And once again, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.